Good morning. Tell you guys some things that have happened, how it changed me, made me different from everybody else. Especially when it came to people from other worlds that I came in contact with when I was a little child. I got the proof of it right here. And it's my proof. This is my proof. This is something that my true father, and my true mother, and me, and the little blonde-haired girl hiker, this is something that is true about us. It is very sacred to me. It will be very sacred to the little blonde-haired girl hiker if she was to see this photograph that I have in my possession about us. My father, my mother of ancient Pueblo, over many thousands of years ago, and me and the little blonde-haired girl hiker. But before that, I was a child, like I said in the video that I was on with the third phase of Moon, the documentary that they did about me, which is very nice of the Cousin brothers. I thank them very much. No one has ever came forward and done such for me in that way. And I respect them for that very much. Thank you, Blake. Thank you, cousins brothers. Blake and Brent. Thank you. And Samuel, if he follows through, thank you very much. Before I was taken and my destiny followed through, I was a child who was raped by my father, who I thought was my father. I was raped repeatedly and beaten over and over again. So was my half-brother and my half-sister, by the same man, by their father. Up until the point where my physical mother ran away from him and left us with him because she was poor. She was trying to escape him. And then I was sent to that Camp Mendocino. A beaten, battered little child. A raped little child. I went to that camp 4 different times. And one of those times, I went on to a 50-mile hike. One of the activities. You know, when you're walking, if you were ever take such a great walk, you would think about a lot of things, as I did when I was a child. When the people from the other world took me, when they first took me, they laid me down on the table. They took out my right eye. Like I said, they took out my right eye. This is my right side. This is my right eye. They took out my right eye. I could see it hanging in front of my left eye. They shoved something up and through my nose. Crunch. I heard a crunch. and they placed something in my ear. I have a scar right here from whatever they placed inside of my ear. It's right here. There's a lump, and it does move. It's something of extraterrestrial origin, you could say. I had it all my life. And they also marked me of the Orion star system with some kind of a pen wand looking device. They burned into my skin, and I seen the smoke coming off of my skin. I thought I was smelling sizzling bacon. It wasn't sizzling bacon, it was my bacon. And they looked into me. They looked into me because they can look into you and see everything that you ever done in your life. You can't lie to them. It's impossible. So there's no point in lying. That's why I've been so very truthful all over the years, all of the years that I've been on social media. Trying to do my best, which I have done my best to tell the truth and show it. It's just on a more evolved level. But they saw into me. They saw into me, and they said amongst themselves, and I heard this through their telepathy, this one was touched, meaning I was raped. And they were correct. So I got to sit at a console with a whole bunch of buttons. And the other hikers, they received the same treatment that I have received laying on the table. But they themselves have touched me too. They themselves have touched me too. You know, I was being raped, I was being kidnapped, I was being abducted, I was being taken. My destiny was about to come full circle, my destiny. As I sat behind the console, I started to push the buttons. And I've traveled all through history. And I'm recorded and documented all through history. From what I'm trying to tell you with all of this is, I was looking for escape myself. I was looking for an escape. I wanted to have a real family. Many thousands of years ago, I was here on these lands, and I was sitting over here with my mother and the little blonde-haired girl hiker, and my father of ancient Pueblo, native, indigenous, thousands of years ago. My father made a fire to keep us warm. He stood outside, but he was with me, and he held me in his lap. He held me in his lap, and I started to mark on the wall, and then he helped me. He taught me. Backwards and forwards migration in the same spot is referring to time travel. He knew, my father knew, because I came out of the craft. I came out of the craft right in front of him when they were sitting outside eating the coyote dog. My mother, she held her daughter, the little blonde-haired girl hiker, in her lap, and she rocked her and she sang to her. I was looking for a place to hide. I was scared. I found this little place. Like any good father, like any good father, he taught me. He was teaching me. He was teaching me how to grow up, how not to be scared. He never hurt me. He never hurt his daughter either. You see, before I was born physically, I was back in time walking Mother Earth with these same 2 feet that I walk with today in my same 2 hands thousands of years ago because of the time travel. I met my father. The extraterrestrials, I wanted to stay with them too. I didn't want to go onto the German Nazi craft. I didn't like the German Nazi craft because the German Nazis were also back in time and they were messing around with my elders. And I was yelling at them to leave my elders alone. These men were wearing gray and black uniforms. They were from the Second World War. Here you have a child from the 1980s conversing with people from the Second World War, back in time thousands of years ago with my father of ancient Pueblo. 3 different people from 3 different timelines interacting with each other. And I have all the proof of it because I'm the little boy. I wish I'd stayed back in time. I made a big mistake coming back to this timeline. I made a terrible big mistake. I wish I'd never left my father. The extraterrestrial elders, they didn't want to accept me as their child. They didn't want the responsibility, I guess. They didn't want the responsibility to take me as their child. But yet they've been taking me my whole life. I could have had a beautiful life with them too, to grow up to be so very smart, to develop my skills, to have a good family. But they refused this. They didn't want me. After all they'd done to me, they didn't want me as their child. After all that I've been through, time traveling. But he was good to me. He was like a father to me. Don't get me wrong. I guess that their species, I don't know. I really don't know. Because when I came back to this timeline, my life was ruined. My life was ruined. The raping still continued. The beating still continued. Even from my birth mother's other boyfriends all my life. And I died. I died. I fell off a rock. I jumped. And I died before my natural childbirth. It changed me, the transcendence of me dying before my natural childbirth physically, back in time. Not a past life experience, not an incarnation, but physically dying before my natural childbirth. And I fought evil. I fought evil. And I have the pictures and the photographs of that too. I fought it. And when you fight something in heaven, you're in close contact with it, and a little piece of that evil got inside of me as well. And I've been trying to flush all this evil out of me. Even it's recorded on petroglyphs that the elders have tried to flush out the evil that's inside of me, that I came in contact with. A primordial evil. Think of Lucifer and the dragon of old combined. But such of a power that actually brings life to the planet. One of the gods, a jealous, old, primordial god that brings life, that brings rain. It brings rain. And I fought it when I was just a kid. Tough kid to go through all this, you know? Such a tough little kid to go through all of this. Such a tough little boy. When I came back to this timeline, in the craft time traveling past my childbirth, it enforced the divinity inside of me. It forced and it seized. It bound me. It bound me. It bound me to heaven. I was born in heaven, and I was born on earth at the same time. There's two of me. Now with divinity is like a tree branching out, growing, just like all of creation. It grows. So, I grew up in heaven, and I grew up on earth, from our ancient past, and right now in our present. And plus, I became a father to humanity. I had sex, I mated, and I helped create humanity, and that was millions of years ago. Being pushed this way, forced this way, forced and pushed. I never had a chance to be a white man. I never knew how to be a white man. because I was physically back in time before my natural childbirth and I died. I became of heaven and Mother Earth. Ancient, native, sacred, indigenous, on such a level that no human has ever gave witness to. I can take pictures of myself in heaven because I was born in heaven and on earth at the same time. Divinity means more than one. A lot of people don't know what divinity is, but I do. I have my pictures and it's a lot of stuff. But I made the biggest mistake in my life. I should have never came back to this time period. I always wanted to have family, even though I helped create family. It's something that I never really had. Until I met my father. Then I was taken away from him. And because of time travel, in a split second, everybody that I knew and loved, they were all gone. They died. Instantly. Thousands of years into the future, passing my own childbirth, placed back at the camp, back on the 50-mile hike, and made to forget everything by the people who took me, the people who took us in Mendocino County, California. A deity has been walking this earth for many thousands and millions of years. I'm that deity. You can see my symbol of my divinity over my head in heaven. You can see pictures of me in heaven and on earth at the same time, taking the photograph. The ultimate selfies. Taking pictures of my elders in heaven, including extraterrestrials. "50% of something is better than 100% of nothing." Look up the Oxford Dictionary for deity. It will tell you a person of divine or of God. Who am I to argue about the Oxford Dictionary? I just am who I am. You know, these things have happened to me all my life. And recently I got taken by the military, taken by the white man, sit in front of a white man while I was unconscious. In and out of conscience, what I call doing the zombie walk. When I'm walking like a zombie, not under my control, but by the control of others. Meaning I was abducted. I was abducted the other night. Not last night, but the night before. Sitting in front of a doctor, a white man with a white coat, with a name tag, touching on me. "Does it hurt over here? Look up. Look up. Hey, up here. Up here. Look up. Huh? Look up here, huh? Does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? Huh?" And I'm looking around, and I see a white woman with dark hair. She has many papers in her hand, and she puts them like this on the desk, just like a file of my case file on the desk, like this. And that's all I remember. You know, to take someone who knows more than people, the humans, To take someone who knows more than the humans, who has been here longer than the human species and has actually traveled in time all through history and craft from another world, driven by people from another world, and knows exactly what's going on because he helped create humanity and he was a time traveler himself aboard a highly superior technology, and then tried to make him do the zombie walk and do a routine on him, makes me see that the humans, I can't trust them today. If they do this to me, they do this to anybody. And they would lie about it. I can't lie. I can't lie. I'm from heaven. I'm from our ancient past, which is sacred. And I'll never lie. The things that have happened to me thousands of years ago is sacred. And I love and I respect my family members. And I honor them by telling the truth of native, ancient, indigenous. I honor them by telling the truth. Mexo. Mix. Mexo's wanting to bite me, play. He wants to have playtime. He's laying on the computer. These. He's like, bring that down here. I wanna bite it. You people would cry. You people would cry today if you experienced the smallest of experiences that I've experienced. If you experienced those things, some of those things that have happened to me thousands of years ago, and gave witness to Mother Earth, what she truly looked like before all this big mess of today, you would actually get down on your hands and knees and you would be crying so hard you could not get up off the floor. You would be so very mad at humanity today. And you can see past any lie, any deceit, any greed, any evil, any war, any corruption. You can see right past everything. You can tell when someone's lying, not being honest, being hateful, being facetious. You can see all this because you've been here longer than they all have. And you know more, and you feel more because you became more. You guys have big surprises ahead of all of you. In store for all of you. You have big surprises in store for all of you. I begged the elders inside of the craft that I did not want to go. I did not want to leave the craft with them. I wanted to stay with them. But they made me get on the German Nazi craft anyway. And they were not my people. In World War II, you all know what happened to all the Jewish people, to the Jews. The Jews do not celebrate Hitler's birthday. Us native indigenous people, we don't celebrate Custard's birthday. We don't celebrate Columbus Day. They aren't our people. And you don't practice a religion of the people who committed genocide towards your family members. Religion is only that of people who were doing things like me thousands of years ago, and people of prophecy, which I am also, like I was and still am thousands of years ago and today, and so much more. I have to accept all of these things because this is my life. And I made a terrible mistake when I was a little kid. A little kid really can't make choices for himself because he's a little kid. I wish to have stayed with my family. I made a big mistake coming back here and thinking anybody would listen to me, or anybody would listen to the elders today, the great-grandchildren of the elders, the great-grandchildren of the elders. I made a big mistake by coming back. I could have had a beautiful life with my beautiful family. I could have grown up to be very smart about Mother Earth and about who I am. I could have listened to my elders and became very smart and became a good hunter like my father, a good gatherer like my mother, a good craftsman like my family, and a good husband, a good mate. I wish I would have stayed back in time. And I know that the extraterrestrial elders, they can make all things. They can change all things. Because they have the abilities to. I know. I got the travel in time pushing the buttons inside of what you people call today a UFO. And I was just a kid. So I know anything could happen. And I don't understand the white man. I truly don't understand the white man because I never got the chance to become a white man. Because I was something else. Something else other than human. Still very human, but something more. You don't see people like me running around doing the stuff that I'm doing. You don't see that. So over the years, here recently in the past couple of years, I've been learning how to flush out the evil that's been inside of me the whole time, controlling my life. And I'm walking on my proper path. After all these thousands and millions of years. I was also told by a great spirit up in heaven to stay on your proper path. But I was a child and I seen him up in heaven and I was like, oh. And the lady staff member was right there and the other hikers and they were like, he's talking to you, Kenny. He's talking to you. And I was like, and I I started running. I got scared. He was talking to me, the Great Spirit. I even have the picture of it. But I don't understand the white man today. They say they're ready for disclosure by their government, their people's government. Their people's government has lied to them, for hundreds of years about everything. What makes them think they're going to tell the truth about anything, or the whole truth? Because the whole truth is too much for the human species at this moment to handle. They can't even handle the information that I'm giving them. It makes them think that they're going to handle what the government will throw at them. And then blatantly lie to them and right in their face. But they're needing approval. They're needing approval from the government disclosure. They're needing the approval of the government. They're needing approval. The white man. They're needing approval for the white man government to come out with the extraterrestrial disclosure. Now me, I've been here for millions of years. I don't need the approval of the white man government, and they are not my masters. They are not my masters, the white man government. They don't control me. They don't own me. Their laws don't govern me. I hold no pledge or no allegiance to anything of them. Not after what they've done to my family members all through history. Coming here and committing genocide of over 100 million men, women, and children of native, indigenous. I don't practice their religion, the white man's religion. There's no such thing here on these lands because the white man does not come here. They are nothing in God we trust, and they are nothing in Christ's favor, because you don't commit mass genocide in the Bible's name. You don't commit mass genocide. You don't steal land away from people, from children, from mothers and fathers. You don't steal their heritage and tell them that they cannot practice what they have been taught for thousands of years, longer than a white bastard came here to these lands. They have no say in anything. They are corrupted. They lie. They're full of deceit, evil, war, greed, and corruption and war, and truly have destroyed these lands of my elders. I know everything here because I've always been here. You can't lie to me about nothing. You can't pull the wool over my eyes. A lot of crap has happened to me in my life, and the only people who really gave a damn about me and took me as their son is my true family. And I love them very much. So now here I sit in the future, wishing that I had a real life, because this life in the future was destroyed ever since I came back. It was destroyed ever since I came back. I think that's the reason why I was traveling all through history, is because I was trying to run away. And I brought the other hikers with me. I brought them with me. And I'm sorry. Just a little kid. And one big Maxo. And the rest is history. Ouch. Don't do it, Maisel. Don't beat me up. Well, I don't know why the white man needs approval of a government that doesn't want to help them, that takes everything away from them, and gives them so very little. I don't understand. I guess it's because I'm not a white man. I'm your true white brother. From heaven and on earth, the ancient past and the present. Quit biting at me so much. You're grumpy. The Father, the Son, the Sacred Spirit. Same thing. I became father a long time ago. You're just wanting to play, you big Mr. Mix-Old. Okay. I had it. I give up. You win. Ouch. Ow. Get it. Well, I'm gonna go. I'm getting beat up over here by Max. No, it hurts. Welcome to the House of Scratch. Literally. Love you guys. Have a good day. You already have your disclosure. I gave it to you a long time ago. And that's a fact with the proof. Amen.